Greetings, Glitter Gang, and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn, and tonight we are crafting live from the December Daily Wallet album. And we are working on wallet number 3. So this afternoon we had started... Yes. Sorry, Kitty is in here. She's having a sassy day, so maybe she'll come up and say hello. But this afternoon we had started the... Come on! We had started the matting. This one. Alright, and then we had a snafu with some printer drama. Mr. Lifeguard fixed it, thankfully. Come on, you can jump up. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You're strong. Yeah. Alright, so I did kind of print it. Kind of. But let's talk about some changes that I made. So, you want to come up? Okay. I got you. I got it. You're right. You're right. There you go. There you go. All right. So, this afternoon I made some sheets. There she is. Yes. Say hello, friends. Oh. So, Sizzix has a new scoring board and trimmer tool. Interesting. Okay, so earlier today I missed some pieces. I didn't. There were some I just didn't do. Like I didn't do the backs of any of these. All right, so there's some stuff here that wasn't done this afternoon, but nothing complicated that wasn't there this afternoon. Okay. So this piece, can you step? Thank you. This piece right here, actually, you know what? Let me put it on the computer. I'm not gonna like walk you through it exactly, but I'll just point out a couple things that were done. Just so you can see the differences if you are following along. No, please, Kitty, don't step on the keyboard. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. So, just so I can kind of zoom in, it's not going to be that big of a difference, but let me just switch over. Okay, Kitty, you have to be wherever I am. Is that it? All right, so things you haven't seen are Ugly Sweater Party right here. This was pulled off a tag and I just enlarged it. So this was on one of the tags in the collection. I just cut it out in a rectangle and then I just resized it to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And we're going to put this on the back of the folder that has the sweater on the front. And then this is also one of the tags from the collection. Again, I just enlarged it, put it on a pink background, and this is going to go on the front of the 4x6 folder that's in the back pocket. So that's new. This is pattern paper to go on the back of this. And these doggos are pattern paper to go back on the landscape 4x6 folder from the beginning that we made earlier today. This is the top of the tag. This you've seen. And then on this one, this is just to go on the back or to line a pocket. This goes on the tag. We did this earlier today. This goes on the top of that. This we did for the did this afternoon. You saw that. This Santa was not done this afternoon. So I put this together, and essentially I got the Santa from the embellishments. The Holly Jolly came from one of the cards. These hollies on either side were embellishments, and I put this letter in Santa's hand. And then this is to go on the back of a pattern paper. Okay, so nothing complicated. I didn't like do anything that you haven't seen before. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna start putting these apart. And then we'll start assembling, and I'll kind of show you where all these things are gonna go. Kitty has gotten herself settled off to the side, so I guess she's done for now. All right. Oh, and these happy holidays here and here, I swapped out for the journaling spots that were going to go inside the gatefold, just because I thought they were cute. And again, those I pulled off a tag. So I was looking at the tags a lot this afternoon, and I saw that there were lots of cute things on the little tiny tags, and so I wanted to incorporate some of those. So that's what that is. So we just did just a few changes, but again, nothing totally drastic, or nothing like on the same level as this one in terms of what we were doing to make modifications. You know what I'm saying? You want to just keep rolling over here? Is that what you're going to do? So it has some things you don't have. Interesting. Alright, so this piece specifically I just need to cut to 7/8, so I'm going to line it up just so I can get it exactly right. All right. And we'll just do some trash here. Yeah, Kitty, she was certain that she wanted to be out here. Because when my 8:45 alarm went off, she hopped down from what she was doing and followed me, ran right to the office door, and was like, I'm all right, let's go. So she wanted to spend this time with all of you. All right. Almost done. All right. So done, 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 done. Now, we move on to ink taping and all that. I'm not doing very dramatic inking. I want it to be quite soft, so I'm not refreshing the ink on my pad that often. Doop, 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 doop. All right. So, we had some of our chicken cutlets for dinner tonight from our big food prep that had been in an herb garlic marinade. So they marinated as they thawed, which was nice. And they cooked nice and quick because they were thin and not like those those chicken breasts are terrifying. Costco's chicken breasts, the size is quite frightening. So it was perfect amount. But yeah, I don't know what kind of chickens those are coming from. Those are, some of them I'm just like, this is not right. This is not right. So what we did is, you know how chicken breasts are like kind of like a teardrop shape almost? What we did is we cut them straight across, like right here. And then this tail section, this triangular tail section, we cut. So we left a piece about the size of the palm of my hand. Then we cut the tail off. And then we cut this into bite-sized pieces. And we made chicken adobo with those for chicken tacos to have on hand. And then this one, we also cut it in half like a book so that it made two of these. And that's what we marinated, are those two little pieces. So we did that. And we did that with all of them. And they either, all the tail pieces got turned into chicken taco meat. And then all of the top parts were marinated to be served as cutlets with a meal. So that's how we did it. And I think that's how you can, that's plenty of food. That's plenty of food because those breasts are so large. So yeah. I think some of these things still have to get cut in other ways, but I'm going to go ahead and ink them anyway, and then if they get cut, we'll just re-ink. What you up to? Do you have a bug? Kitty is bug hunting. Your friend calls them Frankenbeast and then Costco asked her to stop calling them that. That's kind of funny. Oops, we missed some guys. Let me cut these real quick. So that's how I deal with the, now the chicken thighs, I had to debone because they didn't have boneless, skinless thighs. So I had to get the bone-in skin on and debone them. That was really a rough time. I mean, not really, but it did take a full, like, I would say hour for us to prep or break down the chicken thighs. Because I had to debone them and we had to trim them. Kitty did like being here. She said, I want to go back. That was fun. I did get a message from Mr. Lifeguard that Marcel tried to follow, but he was too slow. And he missed us. So. But my sister brought him in this afternoon because he was curled up outside the door crying, apparently. And Marcel is not a very vocal cat, so... usually when he cries, we think he's really upset. Now, that may just be a manipulation. So, with cats, you never know. You really never know. So, you can't trust them. Can't trust them. So. This one also needs to be 7/8. Kitty said, take me back to my friends. But yeah, the Costco chicken breast, my goodness. All right, now we're ready to continue our assembly. Look at how many little pieces it takes to cover one of these. There's quite a lot involved in our simple wallet here. So, all right. So, all right. So on the back of this, we're going to put our ugly sweater, okay? So that's where that one goes. And then on the back of this is where we're going to put all our dogs in sweaters, because that's also going to coordinate. So those two are new to you. So those are ones that I just remembered that I didn't have anything planned for those. Okay, Kitty, I think is... So let me go let her back in the house. Yeah? What's up? You want to go in here? No. Yeah? Okay. She said bye. So our project for this week is pumpkin cream cheese muffins. All right, so ugly sweater goes on the back of this. Did I tell you how we did with the blueberry muffins? I can't remember if that was something we had done before last week's show or not. Did we talk about muffins? We did not talk about muffins. Okay, so we made a ton of wild berry muffins. And I thought we bought a 4-pound bag of frozen 3-berry blend. So it's blackberry, raspberry, and blueberry. And you can cook frozen berries in recipes without thawing them. No big deal. So that's something I knew. So I thought, I'll get this 4-pound bag. We'll make a bunch of muffins. That'll use up the bag. It'll be really economical, and we'll have a ton of muffins. It is going to take us so long to use up this bag. I used so much fruit, like cups and cups and cups of fruit. But 4 pounds of berries, it's a couple berries. It's a couple berries. So and I got this recipe for jumbo muffins, right? Because I wanted to have like really nice big muffin tops. And I had this recipe for jumbo muffins. And the recipe is great, kind of. I have to show you the picture of these muffins, though. So, when you see these muffins, just understand that all of the muffins, okay, all 3 of the muffins are in jumbo muffin cups. So, it's not one jumbo muffin and it's not one jumbo muffin and 2 normal muffins. It's 2 jumbo muffins and then a Godzilla muffin, okay? These are also jumbo muffins. And basically in the recipe, the recipe writer said to fill the jumbo muffin cups to the top, level with the top. Now, that sounded insane. So I didn't do that on these 2 batches. So these batches were filled with a jumbo cupcake or jumbo muffin scoop. The difference between them is this one had a sugar top and this one had a plain top. And interestingly enough, you get the nice craggy peaks with if you don't sugar. The sugared muffins didn't craggle up as much. Just to give you an idea of the size of these muffins, I have them from another angle with a roll of packing tape. So you can just see them compared to a roll of packing tape, okay? So that's how they look compared to tape. All right. So filling them all the way to the top, the muffins are too big. They're too big. They're too big. That's crazy. Absolutely not. So we made like 3 times as many muffins as we were planning on making because we didn't fill them to the brim. Like I said, we made a batch where they were filled to the brim, you know, but it was just, it's too much. It's too much. Okay, so the next round, the next level down is the tags. All right. So we've got the paper for the tags. Where's the other tag? Oh, here it is. Okay. So here's the tags. I've got their little hole reinforcers up here, I think. Oh, I only have 2. Okay, I need 2 more. So we'll have to make them. And then for the tags, I've got this. Okay, so that's too big and has to be trimmed down. And then I also have this, which is the correct size and doesn't have to be trimmed down. Okay. All right, that's fine. So after they've been baked too, Mary, or are you talking about in a smoothie? You don't think they like, not in a smoothie? I used a jumbo scoop. So one thing I learned from that, if you remember, like 2 or 3 years ago, probably more like 3 or 4 years ago at this point, I read a book from Southern Living. I don't know if I mentioned this. I read a book from Southern Living on how to make cupcakes. And 2 big takeaways I got from that were that you can use the white lily flour in cupcakes that call for all-purpose flour, and it'll give you a nicer cupcake. And that's true. And that's a tip that's like a for life tip, just knowing about white lily flour at all. And then the other was that your cupcakes will bake better if you use a cupcake scoop. And we now have a cupcake scoop, a cookie scoop, and a jumbo, and now we have a jumbo muffin scoop. And the jumbo muffin scoop, I learned, is also the correct size for like an IHOP type pancake, like a nice like pancake house pancake. So we are going to try that this weekend as well. It's also supposedly the right amount of chicken salad for a sandwich and the right amount of mashed potatoes for a meal. So, but yeah, the scoops really get you nice, evenly baked cupcakes, muffins, and all of that. So for the 2 that are smaller, we used a jumbo muffin scoop, which filled them probably about 2/3. And then for the really giant one, we did do all the way to the brim because we wanted to see the three different ways. And these are called, oh, this one I needed to cut and then I went ahead and taped it. All right. This one may be the right height but not the right width, in which case we just need to take an 1/8 of an inch off each side. Yeah, they're the right height but not the right width, so we just need to trim 1/8 of an inch from each side. And the reason we're going to trim 1/8 of an inch from each side is just because that way it's even all the way around. I'm just going to do it on my big trimmer real quick. All right, and then we just need to chomp the corners and then we'll re-ink it. Thank you, Mary. We weren't sure about it, so we tested it in Photoshop by putting a skinny red rectangle down it to see if we would like it. And we did, so we went and went with it. So it was nice to be able to see if it would still look good, you know. But it just looks like more ribbon. All right, so now we need to make some more hole reinforcers. So I'm going to grab another of the scraps scraps of paper. Oh, that was Ella, sorry. Well, then Ella already knows that because she was here. So Mary's like, I like it too, though. All right, that's fine. All right, so that's a 1/4 inch hole punch, and now we're going through with the 3/4 inch hole punch. Oh, you were too. Well, then never mind. Everyone already knew. I don't know why I'm telling the story again. We just think it really looks nice. Okay. I love that we're all in violent agreement that it looks nice. Even 5 hours later, it still looks nice. Oh dear. All right, so thank goodness it still looks good. Oh, you know what we do need to do though? We need to pick which of these papers we think is going to look best with our piece. I'm going to go with this one for our straps because we need to glue it on. It's still going to look nice in 5 weeks. Well, we'll just have to check. We'll have to check and see how we feel about it in 5 weeks. All right. All right. Just gonna go. Okay, that's done. In 5 weeks, Kathryn's not going to care anymore as she rushes to finish. Now that's true. In 5 weeks, Kathryn will be like, we're getting awfully close to Christmas. We need to stop. We need to stop and carry on. Okay. All right, so What we're going to do now is I'm just going to put tape around the hole since we're not going to be using liquid glue on the holes. So and let's go. All right. So my thought with this one was first we're going to have to chomp and re-ink these, but that's okay. I'm going to put the pattern paper down first. And then I'm going to put the photo mat on top. That way I don't have to precisely measure the pattern paper. Oop. All right, so now that's down. We're going to re-punch the hole. All right. Just cleaning up a little glue that got outside the lines. Okay, so now all we have to do is just add a little bit of glue and little hole reinforcers and we'll be good. Then we'll add our photo mats. All right, so okay, that's done. So now we're just going to add two of these, one on the front and one on the back, and like I'm just going to cut an inch off each side and that'll keep my stamp fairly centered. All right. So yeah, so we have a freezer full of wild berry muffins. And then this week, my sister wants to make pumpkin cream cheese muffins. So she got some pumpkin. We're just going to make a small batch. And that'll be that. And then I'm also going to make a wild berry yogurt cake, lemon yogurt cake, because we have so many berries. So the next time someone drops by unexpectedly, I'll be ready. I'll be ready I'll have a cake ready to go. Well, it'll be frozen, I guess. I'll have to microwave it. Halloween treats. There we go. Yeah, I've been looking up, and I haven't talked to the neighbors yet, but I was just, doing a little Googling on the local sites about what is the Halloween situation. And it looks like a lot of family fun nights and fall festivals and things like that at all the churches and community centers and such. And trunk or treats and all that kind of thing. So it does. And then I found a mom's group with a list of the best neighborhoods to trick or treat in if you're going to drive your kids around to actually trick or treat. And our neighborhood was not on it, which doesn't totally surprise me because our neighborhood is very hilly, and it'd be a lot of walking up and down hills and things. So I could see, driving to a better neighborhood geographically speaking or geologically speaking or whatever. So our neighborhood was not on there. So I'm not expecting a bunch of people, but it's just too much, If you have to be walking all up and down these hills and the houses are too far apart because they have larger lots because it's an older neighborhood. So I think I get it. Okay. I don't feel like snubbed or anything. But that was the best thing about living in South Riding was tons and tons and tons and tons of kids. We would buy 15 or more pounds of candy and they would just blaze through it. We could never have enough candy. We ran out of candy every year. We bought more and more every year. So, and that's because it was a very dense neighborhood by, suburban Northern Virginia standards, because it was a little bit newer. So the lots were smaller. And there was lots of townhouses. But so yeah, we always got to see so many cute little kids and their costumes and stuff. So that was one of the best places that we ever did Halloween, I would say. Well, Miami was fun too, because the way the neighborhood or the apartment complex in Miami did it was they started the kids off at a Halloween party and then they went through the whole neighborhood in like a parade. And so you would just stand in front of your apartment building and all the kids would show up at once and you would just be handing out candy like a mad person for half an hour. And everyone would be in costume. People would be taking pictures and stuff. And then when it was done, it was done. It was just all done at once. So I guess that's kind of like trunk or treat. I guess if I understand trunk or treat correctly, which is very possible I don't. So. So yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of stuff for kids to do, which is great, but I think it means we won't see a lot of trick-or-treaters. But I will have a bag of candy anyway. Well, I'll have 2 bags of candy because I always have candy without chocolate, because one year I didn't have any candy without chocolate and I had to turn a kid away without candy, and that made me very sad because they were allergic to chocolate. So ever since then, I've always had candy with chocolate but no nuts, candy with no chocolate, and then full danger candy. I should just actually write that on it. Just call it danger candy. Yeah, I'll have to make sure I get candy I like. That's a good point. Last year I found a mix that had chocolate and non-chocolate in the same bag. That was a mistake. I do not recommend that. Because all of the non-chocolate candy tasted weird from having absorbed in the bag some of that chocolate flavor. And all of the chocolate candy tasted weird from having absorbed in the bag some of that like fruity Twizzler flavor. So all in all, I would say no. Would not repeat that one. So, okay. All right, so next we've got the little window card. And what I've prepared for that one is this. All of these little bits and pieces. So, and then you all can go back over here until you're needed. All right, so on the front, we're going to have this to kind of blend with the wreath. And then on the inside, we'll put the stamps. And then here and here, we'll have the gingerbread party stuff. And then on the back, the presents to make a clean back. So, all right. But we already decided one of us is going to have to sit at the bottom of the hill because we can't make these little kids climb this nightmare driveway. These poor little things. So someone's going to just hang out and read in a lawn chair in the cul-de-sac. For any little kids that do come by. That's true. The kids do have the energy to climb the driveway. It's the parents who don't. It's really a kindness to the parents more than it's a kindness to the children. Because, yeah, I think whoever is out there should dress up. Well, the original plan was that they should lie at the base of the hill as if they'd fallen down the hill and pretend to be dead and then jump up and scare the kids when the kids showed up. But that's going to have to depend on weather and a whole bunch of stuff. So, but if not, we do have costumes that work. If it's chilly, we have these Victorian vampire costumes that are in the attic. And that's what we wore in Miami, actually. And sweated to death in them, which is how we know that they're for when it's chilly. All right, I'm just going to trim this to the right size, go inside. And so we have that, and then we also have a way to do a quick and easy scarecrow costume, because you can just very easily, you just paint some patches on your face and you wear a straw hat and you wear some ugly clothes and then you look like a scarecrow, and then that's can be whatever for the weather, you know. All right, so let's get some tape on this, and then we'll put our magnets in place and we'll get to work. Now the vampire costume can be a bit much for younger kids. So we have in the past like had little kids who wouldn't approach us because we were too scary. So we just give them, you know, their parents always just come get candy. But that's only a few kids. But it does look pretty intense. Well, we have cuffs. Yeah, we have raffia cuffs actually that we've made that you can just tie around your wrists and around your ankles. They're like a little grass mat basically. You just tie it around your wrists and around your ankles. So we do have those. All right, now we got to do our magnets before I get past the point of no return magnet wise. Anyway, so we'll see. We'll know. And I am going to just ask the neighbors if they know. But the neighbors that we know the best and talk to the most moved in at the beginning of COVID. So there's some stuff they say they don't know what's normal. They only know what's like COVID version, you know? So Halloween is just one of those things that they may not know. But we'll see. They can at least tell us what it was like last year. It was probably pretty close to normal, or whatever the new normal is going to be. So, well, one year we gave kids the choice of candy or Play-Doh, and they all took Play-Doh. We ran out of Play-Doh almost immediately. So, Play-Doh was a huge hit the one year we did it, when we did something a little bit different. I wonder how many parents hated us. We only did it once. All right. What city had the most trick-or-treaters? Definitely South Riding. And then after that, I would say Miami. Now, when we were growing up, our neighborhood in Prince William County, Virginia had a ton of trick-or-treaters, but by now it has none. My parents say they don't get any trick-or-treaters anymore, and that's because, you know, the older people, you know, have the people who are my parents' age kind of all moved in around the same time, and then they all had their kids, and so we ran around in huge packs of parents and kids. But all those people have been living there this whole time, and now there's not a lot of families with kids. So my parents say they don't get trick-or-treaters at all anymore. But yeah, South Riding, I've never seen anything like it. So there are tons of kids. Ella says that's what I like. I like none kids. That's the right amount of kids. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this down to 4 1/4. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off each end so that the stamps stay centered. So but yeah, South Riding, so many kids. Like we didn't even sit down. We would just stand at the door for hours just handing out candy. And that's when I started having to use the IKEA Raskog cart to hold all the candy. And I mean, we would just go through pound after pound after pound of candy. We never, ever had enough candy. We ran out every single year, despite like getting more and more candy every year. So yeah, South Riding, Virginia. And that's Loudoun County, Virginia, which is one of the richest counties, like per capita, you know, has the most wealth in the entire country. So, and it was younger families on top of that. So it was lots of well-off younger families. Everyone had nice candy too. You couldn't, maybe people did drive in. Like maybe people from outside. It's hard to, has anyone read Finley Donovan, the book series Finley Donovan? If you've read Finley Donovan, the neighborhood she lives in the book is South Riding. It's where I lived. So like, and she talks about it pretty accurately. But it's, yeah, maybe they did bus in. That would make sense. The people from nearby areas without as much money, it would make sense to go park at the Harris Theater parking lot. I mean, if I was a parent living anywhere near South Riding, I can tell you that I would park at the Harris Theater parking lot and I would take my kids through South Riding all night, and the kids would be like, Mom, we've been to 1,000 houses already. And I'd be like, sorry. You're not giving up, kids. There's still candy left. So, all right, so this one's going on the inside, so I'm going to chomp the upper corners. Because I think the neighborhood had the right blend of like money and density, because a lot of times those two things don't go hand in hand, you know what I mean? So I think that's what made it so good for trick-or-treating. That would explain why there were so many children. if they were coming from out, like if their parents were driving them from neighborhoods that were, for example, even if you lived, you know, if you lived in a less dense neighborhood, it's just so much less walking to bring your kids to South Riding, and they can get way more stuff all at once. And we lived out there because, well, we were renting a house out there, and it was close to Mr. Lifeguard's work. But it was it's not convenient to anything except itself. And it's probably the most intense HOA we've ever lived in. It's the 4th wealthiest county in Virginia. Oh wow, it slid down the cracks. They gotta pick it back up, you know? But yeah, a lot of very wealthy people just live in Northern Virginia in general. But the HOA was crazy. They put out a magazine every month. I mean, just for starters. And it was like a magazine. It wasn't a newsletter. Like, they can't just have, they're not just having a newsletter, a little pamphlet with information, an email. Oh, no. It was a full news magazine. Okay. So, but yeah, I remember when some people would complain about this, their problems were like not problems, you know what I mean? No one had a single real problem the whole time we lived there. in the neighborhood group, you know, the next door or whatever. And they at one point they were so annoying in the there was when we left there was this huge fight raging about Paul VI High School moving Pope Paul VI High School moving from Fairfax City to basically South Riding, Virginia. And essentially what had happened was the bishop's development office had secretly bought a ton of land, enough to build this huge campus, because they'd outgrown their Fairfax campus. And then they were going to build it, and they'd already gotten all the permits. They'd literally done everything. There was nothing left that could be challenged. And the people in South Riding just didn't want it. And my brother-in-law at the time was like, yes, I would hate for the value of my property, because they lived like, if this was South Riding and then this is a street and then this was my sister's HOA. So she and I could get to each other's houses in like less than one song on the radio, you know? So, all right, so here we go. So we've got this folder that reveals our wreath with our cute little stamps. And then we've got these beautiful little gingerbread house decorations. And we've got the back there. So that finishes off the inside. Anyway, I remember that Loudoun County sent someone out to talk to the people at like the South Riding HOA meeting and to tell them that it was happening and to get over it. But they hired a lawyer and they were like trying to sue and do all this, and I was just like yes, we should not have any high schools. We should just not have high schools. All right. Okay, so now that is everything for that side. So in here, we need to put this. So we're going to put this on the front, and then I've got this on the back, and we haven't used this paper yet. Look how cute it is with the punch. But during that whole thing, someone photoshopped the sign at the entrance to South Riding and to South Whining. And we always thought that was hilarious. Because it's just as like, you would just love to have those problems, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's get this inside done, this insert done first. Politics is in Chantilly, which is in Fairfax, not Loudon. See, so they just flipped out about it. It was too close to them, Mary. It was like touching them. It was too close. There was something about this intersection is already clogged in the morning, and if you add the high school over there, that's going to make this intersection worse. It basically boiled down to not wanting to wait at a light. And South Riding, to be fair, trying to leave, if you were trying to leave like in the morning at, you know, any kind of commuting time, it was rough getting in and out of South Riding. I mean, to be fair to them, it doesn't have enough exits for like the volume of cars. Have they really? Interesting. Oh, right. They were the ones who got... They were not disclosing, like, incidents or something? I don't know. I thought I heard something about this. It's kind of tickling my brain, but... Yeah, okay, yes, that's what it was. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yep. They were just like keeping it to themselves, even though they have mandates and such, and all the people involved are minors. Yep. That's what I thought. Okay, it did tickle my brain. What? Yeah. Well, if you don't properly disclose stuff, then you don't have to do what you're supposed to do to keep everyone safe. Because it's like it never happened. All right, so... So, yeah. But... Oh, wow. Yeah, I can just see how that would put gasoline on the fire for sure. When it's really about the school's principal and guidance counselor being criminals, I mean, in Virginia, that's a crime. And, you know, I mean, of course, the kid is also a criminal if the allegations are true. But it's the bigger problem is any institution, and you guys know I used to do this for a living, but any institution that thinks it can handle stuff itself instead of going to law enforcement, you just got to drill down in that institution because they are going to have a whole well of problems. Like just one instance of them not. There's never just one. It's like they get it. It's like a top-down institutional thing, you know. So you just have to clean the whole house. You really do. Oh, so they just scapegoated. Great. But yeah, you've gotta. There's a problem if everyone is not, because when there's an incident in a school. The first people who should be called are, you know, CPS and all them. They need to come in immediately. While the kids are still in the school, the kids need to be separated and see counselors and all of that, you know. So, and that's by law. That's not just my opinion, although my opinion is that's the correct thing to do. Yeah. So, anyways, it's just, We know what the best practices are. It's just the hardest part is to get people to do the best practices. So yes, exactly. I remember one time back when I still worked in risk management in child abuse prevention, and I had a woman who had taken one of my classes for her job call me about repeated incidents in her daughter's school with her daughter being bullied to the point where in the most recent incident her daughter's foot had been broken, and how she had complained and complained to the school, and the school had done nothing because the perpetrator was a kid or blah 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 whatever. And she said, I just don't know what to do next. And I said, you take your daughter in the x-rays, you go police department, you file an assault charge. I was like, and they will sort it out for you. I said, your school is acting illegally. The police will probably also want to know about that. You know, I was like, so yeah, that's what you do. And her daughter's school wasn't one of our schools. She was just calling us because she was at the end of her rope and she just needed someone, you know, who cared about children to tell her what to do. So, you know. So, yeah. But all right, so we've got that folder done, and now this is going to go in the pocket, and I'm not going to take the backing off the tape at the bottom here, because I didn't mean, it's easier to stick this in the pocket if there's not tape on the bottom getting caught on stuff, and I just wasn't paying attention when I was sticking it down is all. So okay, I'm just gonna shorten this. Well, I don't really want to shorten it. I think what I'll do is I'll take the stuff out of the pockets on the back, and that'll give it a little bit more breathing room. It'll be easier for me to slide this in. All right, so now that's in there. Look how pretty those two patterns look next to each other. I think that's actually one of the better pairs in the collection. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is the window. So let's get to the window. By the way, I saw they're remaking The Color Purple, and it maybe is a musical. I couldn't tell 100% from the trailer, but I know it is a stage musical, so maybe. I saw a trailer for it when I was at the movies. Okay, so this one goes here. Yeah, I've seen Cynthia Erivo. I've seen some of her songs, performances from it. She's super talented and awesome. Okay. So now we just go 1/8 of an inch outside this window. So the way it looked on the trailer was like maybe that it could be like a jukebox musical. There was, but there was no. It doesn't. There was nothing that looked on the trailer like a big Broadway number. You know what I mean? Like it definitely. It looked like if there was going to be music, maybe it would be like what they call diegetic sound or a jukebox musical where what the people are singing is happening in the world, I guess. So not like, let me try and think of examples. Not like Rodgers and Hammerstein, but more like Jersey Boys, I think. Yeah, I did learn in media the word for music when the people in the movie would be hearing the music too, right? So if someone's listening to headphones and they're hearing music in the headphones, that kind of thing. Or if there's music playing on a radio, so you're hearing music, but technically the characters could also be hearing the music. That's called diegetic sound. And then when only the audience is hearing the music, that's non-diegetic. So there you go. There's your Greek probably lesson for the day. I know you're all excited. So. All right. All right, so we've got that in there. So that's our little scene. And as I predicted, the trees do not look scraggly and weird at their bases. They just look like they were always there. So that worked out. So we're almost done with this page. It's looking pretty stinking cute. All right. I don't think this cut all the way through to the tape backing, so I'm just going to gently run my knife through that groove again. Okay. All right, so now that's cut out. Look how cute Santa is with his little stocking letters. How cute are those little stocking letters? How cute are they? Super cute. Super cute. Super cute. Okay, so now I just need to add tape around the window and then stick this down, and then this wallet is complete almost. The only thing left is to do the strap, which we'll do at the very end. And then we have a half an hour left. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the digital for, or at least get a good start on the digital for the next wallet. But very, very cute. Very, very, very cute. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Just this last little bit is the front window. This is ready to go in, but the strap has to go in first. All right, so that's it. That's all. My strap's not 100% dry, so what I'm not going to do is after I stick it down, I'm not going to close it because I don't want it to get manipulated too much before it's dry all the way and the layers have bonded together. But I will attach it so you can see how that's done. All right, so now I believe that this sticks out 4.5 inches. But let's double check by measuring one of these. And it is 4.5 inches. Okay. All right, so I just decide which end I want. Which way I think it might look better. I'm going to chomp this end. then we're gonna ink it and mark the 4.5 inches. One, two, three, four. All right. And now we're going to glue it in to the book. Well, we'll ink it, but let me just get this tape on it. There we go. Now we've got our nice tape there. So I'm going to give it a nice firm burnish. So what I'm going to do, because it is so wet still, is I'm going to put it through these straps. But just so I can mark, and I'm going to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm just lifting this up and making 2 marks where I need to stick it down so I know where to line it up. And that's perfect. All right, so that's ready to go down. So I'm just going to lay this flat and give this a little bit of a burnish. And then this is going to go on top of it, and that's really going to help hold it down. All right, so I'm just going to put another little bit of tape right there to help hold that tongue down. Got stuck on the side a little bit there. Stuck to my hand. I have so much more trouble with paper now because my paper is always feels kind of wet. Oh gosh, come on. At the last second it shifted 1/8 of an inch and it got annoying. Okay. I'm going to turn it upside down. and see if that helps. And that does help quite a bit. All right, so there we go. So now that's in. All right, perfect. Now, and I just kept this to cover half the tape in a corner that was bothering me. So sometimes if you have like a skinny ruler or something along those lines, that can really help. All right, so we've got our, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Nice red strap here. Again, it's still wet, so that's why I'm not looping it through. We've got our little beautiful cluster here with our added little bird. Here's a place to journal if you want. Our little landscape doggy in a sweater, and then lots of doggies in sweaters on the back. Of course, there's our poinsettia there as well. Let me just clean some of this trash up off the desk. Okay, make it look a little nicer. All right. All right, so then we have our ugly Christmas sweater, although this one is not particularly ugly in my opinion. I think it's kind of cute. So we have our Christmas sweater, and then we have ugly sweater party on the back. In we go. Then we have our tags. This one's big enough to hold 4x4 photos, and then here's a little bit of journaling. Then we've got the gatefold with the wreath. We've got the flap with the magnet. Little photo inside, and then our cute little gingerbread scenes. On the back, just some wrapping paper to smooth it out. Then on the back here, we've got Holly Jolly, there's Santa with his letter. These are all embellishments from the collection that I just put on. This is literally just a square, this color, and this color is this color from the collection. So then we've got this and this. So we've got this holly leaf pattern paper back here and this poinsettia here. And then we have the poinsettia repeated again here, but in the reverse. So now it's blue on red, and this is red on blue. And then we've got another one of the stamps from the front. We use stamps on the front half of this as well. And then we have more room for photos inside. And of course, on the back, we've got our little holiday cheer. You don't have to put you can put anything in these pockets you want. You know, again, it's customizable for your needs, but you know, it's up to you how much you want to stack these and whatnot. All right, so now we've got 3 of them. All right, so we've got our mixer. So it's really looking cute, coming together nicely. So we got Holly Jolly is number 1, mixer is number 2, and this one, the Christmas tree, is number 3. We're halfway through with the wallets. They're looking so cute. Now I know I said we had a half an hour left and I would do some digital stuff, but we actually now only have 20 minutes left, so I don't know what you're not doing digital, so the paper is a challenge. Yeah, I wonder what... Well, I mean, I would do quilts to fill in where you have lots of scraps and stuff, because you'll have some pretty big scraps, I would say, right? All right. So I'm going to do a recording break here. Let's go ahead and just start a little bit. We'll just do some digital stuff for a few minutes, see if we can get a couple things made, and then go from there. So this is the one we're going to be working on now. We're going to be working on this Joy one right here. Let me just put these two back in the stack. I'm trying to keep it all organized because there's so many pieces and parts here. All right. So in the next, we're going to be doing this Joy. Well, let me do the recording break and then we'll talk about this a little bit and then we'll go. All right. So for those of you who are watching live, just hang tight. Nothing's going to change for you. For those of you who are watching in the archives, just go ahead and click to the next video to see what we get done with the digital stuff. And if you're watching on YouTube, just check the playlist for the next video. And if it's not there, just wait days and it'll show up. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm live Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. This entire project from start to finish, from planning to completion, will be on YouTube in a playlist on my channel. This is the December Daily Wallet album. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.